See, in this today's session, we are going to discuss about the Azure SQL database. Okay, Azure SQL database overview. Yes, actually, so we are going to work as a data engineer. So we are going to work as a data engineer. Basic thing you should know that one how to use that Azure SQL database. On-premises SQL server, it's available. On-premises SQL server. So the on-premises SQL server usually, so we are using that existing projects. If your existing database, if you're using that on-premises, mostly they will migrate that on-premises data into that Azure SQL. So this is cloud-based database. Azure SQL database is nothing but it's a cloud-based database. Same what you are using in the on-premises, the same one with the same feature, it is going to be available in that cloud platform. So here it is called Azure SQL database. Azure SQL database. So overview the Azure SQL database. The SQL database, we can call it like the SQL database as a service. Database as a service, we can call it. And we can say it like a platform as a service. So platform as a service. So this is the one platform as a service. And this SQL server, it is using that database engine, the same one, that on-premises SQL server, what it is using that engine, the backend for the execution purpose. The same SQL server database engine, here it is using. And flavors of that cloud SQL databases, we can say that one SQL database PaaS one, another one is that IaaS. So SQL is a virtual machine, SQL database. Virtual machine now that you are going to create that one VM machine. In that machine, you are going to install that your SQL server. For example, you may have that existing license. You may have that existing license for the on-premises. So for 5 years or 10 years, you are having. So this during this period, you are planning to migrate into the cloud, but still you are having that license for 3 more years or 5 more years, something you are having. Okay. So here you can use that license in the cloud environment, the Azure cloud environment. The on-premises SQL server and Azure SQL server, SQL database, both are Microsoft product, right? So what they are giving the features now, the on-premises license, you can use it for the cloud environment if you're having that existing license now. At that time, you don't want to create that SQL database with your PaaS platform. You don't want to create that your SQL with that. So that time actually what you can do it now. So here that virtual machine instead of the cloud environment, you can create that one virtual machine and you can install that your software, the existing software. But the SQL database, Azure SQL database, now you don't want to create that any virtual machine. Just directly you can create that your database application. Using that one, what you can do it now, you can start to use that our database. Okay. So two types of things. One is the platform as a service, another one is the infrastructure as a service. Platform as a service and infrastructure as a service. Right? Just a minute. This one. So here, so that two types of flavors. One is a platform as a service, another one is the infrastructure as a service. Right? Fine. And the features of Azure SQL database. So using that database, we know that we are going to use that database for storing the data. Yes, we will create the tables, right? So before that one, we will create that our database. Instead of the database, we will create the schema and the tables. The tables, we are going to use it for storing the data. That's right. But whatever we can do it in the database. So database actually, we are going to use it for the business purpose. The business data, we are going to store it. Then using the data, how we are going to do that? The business analysis, how we are going to do that. Suppose if you are having that data in that one data center environment, Now, for example, we are having that our database in that our US data center. Unfortunately, some disaster happened in that place, and we are not able to access that our database. We are not able to access that our database. Then what we have to do? Okay, and somebody trying to access your database. Yes, the person having the access and is trying to log in into that your database, and he is doing some changes in the database. So deleting some records or creating some records or new table, something, whatever it is doing. So how we can monitor, how we can track that access, right? And if you're having that your business data, using the business data, you want to generate the reports. You want to generate the reports. So how you can generate the data, report using that your data. And some data having that personal informations. The personal informations actually we should not show to all the users. It should be restricted. So how we can hide those type of personal informations? Database will have the data, all the data we will have it, but some that personal informations we have to hide it. How we can hide it? See, we have to do all these type of things in your business data. How you can do it? Yes, all these things we can handle it in that our database. So these are the features are available to handle those type of scenarios. See, here we are having that features like business continuity and high availability, auditing, integration with the Power BI, dynamic data masking, elastic pools, flexible pricing configuration, Azure hybrid benefit. What is this? What is the meaning of business continuity and high availability? See, everything we are having separate session. For everyone, we are having that separate individual session. But now I will tell you that high level, the theoretical way. Okay. So what is the meaning of business continuity and high availability? See, yes, I said right. If that your data center location having some issues to access that your database, for example, some disaster happened, some earthquake happened in that your place where you are keeping that your data center. Earthquake happened now, then everything will be disconnected, right? So you cannot access that one. All power and all network, internet connection, everything will be disconnected. Then you cannot access that one. Then we are losing that our business. How? If it is going to take that 1 week of time to recover from that issues now, then 1 week of the time we cannot access that our business application, right? So application means our data, we cannot access it. If you're not able to access that one now, so there is a possibility to lose that my customers. Customers, what they will think, if my application not able to access now, they will try to use that another application related same business what we are doing, the same business now. Other application, if it is available in that market now, they will try to use that another application, right? For example, I'm trying to purchase something through the Amazon from India. I'm trying to purchase something through the Amazon, but Amazon is not supporting. Amazon is not working. Then what I will feel it? I will try to do that. I will try to use that another application. So I will go to the Flipkart. So Amazon losing the business, right? So why? Because their application is not working. In my perspective, in the end user perspective, what I feel now, Amazon application is not working. But the behind, what is the reason now? The database is not accessible. Why? The database where it is located at that place, something happened. So because of that reason, that database is not accessible. Because of the reason, our front-end application is not working. It's the reason. But technically, the end user cannot understand what is the problem, right? What they will think, if the application is not working now, they will switch over into another application. That's it. Then I will lose the business. So here, my business continuity getting affected. Okay, my data is not available. That is the reason. So you have to maintain that one actually, so that backup you have to maintain. Suppose if any problems happened like this now, how to do that in alternative way. You have to think in that way. So for the purpose, here the business continuity and audit, high availability. So concept is that. So just we are going to keep that backup. Fine. I'll give that more explanation when you're having hands on that. So business continuity and high availability to continue that your business without any issues if that primary environment getting affected. Yeah, primary environment, primary storage environment if it is getting affected. So you have to continue that your business by referring or by using that your secondary environment. How to make that primary and secondary storage environment. This is what we are going to discuss very detailing that our business continuity and high availability session. Fine. Now auditing. What is auditing? Auditing, same. So tracking. Who are logging into the database? What are the actions they are doing in the database? When it was happened? Everything we can track it. So auditing feature is available. Auditing feature, if you are enabling in your database now, then every actions it will be tracked. When you are logging, what action you are doing, everything it will be tracked. Yeah. And integration with the Power BI. Power BI is a separate tool. Power BI is a separate tool. Power BI using for the data analysis and dashboard development. But data, you have to get it from that your databases. The databases, it may be anything, on-premises SQL Server or Azure SQL Server. Suppose Azure SQL Server, if it is that your business data source now, so you have to connect from the Power BI. So yes, that integration is possible. Power BI to Azure SQL database. Azure is a cloud. Power BI, so on-premises desktop application. So from that one, if you want to connect with that integration, that our what is that one? Azure database now, yes, we can integrate that one. Fine. And dynamic data masking. So this is the one we are going to use it for applying that, hiding that personal information. Applying for that, hiding the personal information. So data masking. You may see that one. Some of the applications when you are entering that personal details like a credit card number, phone number, or that account number. So in that places, it will type it with the star symbol or dot symbol, right? So they are hiding. They are hiding. You cannot view the data. You cannot see the data, but data will be entered, but you cannot see the data. So dynamic data masking. So when you are selecting the record from the table, so if you don't want to show that particular information, like which is considering like your personal information, so those information you can hide it by applying this masking. Yeah, and elastic pools. Elastic pools actually now you are not able to understand that one. After seeing that our database creation and after using that one, I will explain it. The elastic pools. What is the elastic pools and how it will be helpful. So those things I will explain it after started to use that our SQL database. Flexible pricing configuration. So it's related to that price. Here everything is a price, right? Whatever the application you are going to create it, everything is a price. Same, the SQL database, if you are creating means you have to pay money for it. But what configuration you are going to create, based on that configuration, the charges will be there. That configuration details. So we are having different types of configuration. The configuration details we are going to discuss in this flexible pricing configuration topic. And Azure hybrid benefit. This is one of the feature when you are creating the database. So Azure hybrid benefit, nothing but on-premises license. You can use it for that. Azure cloud also. So this feature is available here. That's what they are saying. Hybrid now on-premises and Azure cloud. So on-premises existing license, you can use it for the cloud if you are migrating to the cloud environment. So these are the features of using that Azure SQL databases, right? Fine. Now, so how we can create the SQL database in the Azure portal? How we can create the SQL database, the Azure portal. This is what we are going to see now. So let's see that our hands-on part. Yeah. So I will get into that our portal. I'll get into that our portal. See here, go to this. Yes, this is a URL. Azure URL. Portal.azure.com. This is a URL, right? See, uh, that features what we have discussed now, the Azure features, Azure features. So all these things we can try using that sandbox server. The sandbox server now, you don't want to create that your Azure account using the credit card. You don't want to create it. You can use this one. So by enabling the sandbox server, so it will be free only. But one restriction is there. What is that one? That sandbox server, it will be available only for the 4 hours. Only for the 4 hours. But every 4 hours, you can create. Every 4 hours, you can create that one sandbox server. This sandbox server, they are giving for the learning purpose. They are giving for the learning purpose. Yeah. So now what I'm going to do that one now, I'm going to show you how we can create that sandbox server. Yeah, Sairam, anything you want to ask?
Yeah, are we recording the session?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, it's going on. Fine. So here, first I'm going to enable or activate that our sandbox server. I'm not going to use that my subscription now. I'm going to use that sandbox server to use this SQL server. Okay, or to create that SQL server for that one. I'm having that URL. This is the one Microsoft they are providing for the learning purpose. This is the one they are providing for the learning purpose. Okay, see here I want to sign in using that same credential. I have activated that sandbox account, that means Microsoft account. So I can use that same username, that mail ID. And now, so verify the account, identical. Click once where that shows two identical. Review the permission. So click the accept. Okay.
Hello, Paul. Hello.
Yeah, tell me.
Yeah, actually, in that before slide, what is the basic difference between SQL virtual machine and Azure SQL database, IS and PAS?
SQL virtual machine, so it will be that only that virtual machine. There will not be any softwares. You have to install the software, whatever software you want to use it. That means the SQL server, if you want to use that one, you should have the SQL software, SQL server software, and then you have to install it in that virtual machine. So SQL virtual machine means, yes, one machine will be there, which is going to support with all the supporting drivers. You know that one, if you're going to install that one, any one new software in that your laptop now, then sometimes it will expect that report supporting drivers files, everything, right? After installing that drivers only, you can install that particular software. I hope you have faced this type of problem.
Okay.
So one machine will be there, but SQL, Azure SQL
Okay, the
database.
basic difference between IAS and PIS, right?
Yeah, yes, now it is only the machine. There will not be
Okay,
any
okay.
software. You have to install the software. But Azure SQL database, now you are going to create the application directly, but in the behind, the visual machine creation, the configuration, everything, it will take care by the Microsoft.
Okay, okay.
This is the difference between the PaaS and the IaaS,
Okay.
right? Fine. Now,
There is a bare metal server with the comes with the OS that is called VM.
it will come with the OS only, but SQL software
Oh,
you
yeah.
have to install it.
Yes, yes.
Fine. Now, this our server actually I have enabled it. So this server I have enabled it. This is the sandbox server. Sandbox server. So they are giving only for the learning purpose. It will be available only for the 4 hours. Yeah. So already 3 minutes completed. So from the creation time, it will be activated for the 4 hours. So after that one, it will be deactivated. So deactivated, everything it will be deleted. Okay. It will not allow to keep that your data permanently. This is the one only for the learning purpose. That's the reason they are also having this type of restrictions, right? Fine. From here, I'm going to open that my Azure portal. So here we are having that hyperlink. So from this one, you can open that your Azure portal. So here I'm going to use this. I'm having this directory. So Microsoft Learn Sandbox. Listen here, Microsoft Learn Sandbox. So I'm inside of that my Sandbox server. So this Azure portal, I have logged in using that Sandbox server. Sandbox server here. So using that my credential, already I'm having that my actual subscription. So using the same mail ID, you can subscribe n number of accounts. Every account you are going to pay for it. It depends upon that your requirement. Using the same credential, same email ID, you can create n number of subscription. Okay. Here I have created that sandbox using the same user. Already I'm having that default directory for this one. This is the one I have created using that credit card, right? But now this SQL, we can use it that our sandbox server, which is a free of cost. Okay. So unnecessarily, we don't want to spend the money for that usages. So the SQL related things, if you want to learn it now, you can use this free version, this sandbox server. Okay. Fine. Now I have logged in into that my Azure portal. So portal URL portal.azure.com. Right now, this portal is running that our sandbox server. On top of that, our sandbox server. So it's a free cost. But here we cannot use that all the services. For example, if you want to use the data factory in the sandbox server, now it will not allow. It will not allow it. So we are having some restriction because this is the one they are providing only for the learning purpose. That is the reason they're having some restrictions. Fine. Now we want to create the database. I will show you just how to create the database. Don't worry about that one. Whatever the steps I'm following, don't worry about that one. You will get to know very clearly each and every steps. But this first time I'm showing you, just listen it, how I'm creating. So click this one. Actually, all the sources, resources, whatever you want to create. So the resources, you can search it from this text box. You can search it from this text box, right? So once you logged in into that your Azure portal now, by default, it will come to this page. This is called the landing page. In this landing page, by default, some of the resources icons, it will be available here, which is you frequently used or recently used. Those resource icons available here. Suppose the particular resource, what you want to create. that resource icon, if it is not available in this area, now you can search it from this text box. For example, here we are having one of the resources called keyword, but the keyword resource here it is not available in this landing page. It is not available, so I can search it. It will list out here. See here, all key related resource names listing here, right? See, but my database here it is available. Here it is available. So even if it is not available here now, from the search box you can search it. And another way, by clicking this plus symbol, create resource. By clicking this plus symbol, click the create. It will navigate to this your home tab. So this one, what is on this market area? The marketplace actually you can search it whatever you want to create. So from here, so for example, the same keyword. If I want to select now, yes, click this one, the keyword. You can search it. So it will list out all the resources which is matching the any one of the keyword key or what anything whatever it is matching. So all matching related things. If there any keys are available now, so it will list out here. But here I'm not able to find out that the exact keyword resource what I'm expecting, right? So here, give that full name, the Azure keyword. So Azure keyword, if you are mentioning. See again, go to the next. A lot of resources are available which is matching with the any one key is matching now, it will find out that all the resources here. But it is not showing here. No? Somewhere I missed, I think. Fine here. Or else from here also we can search it. See here. Keyword. Keyword. The one private option of here. So private option of I think they are having some restrictions.
The
Microsoft keyword is the one. Try this one. What is the showing? Icon it is showing that different color. That's what I'm getting. Yeah, same. Yes. Yes, same. So this is one of the resource. Actually, this is where we are going to use it later, not now. But this is one of the resource. So the resource what you want to create, the resource from where you can select now. So from this place, from this by clicking this create resource, or by clicking this, so create resource. Again, the actual icon. So this is the one, that yellow rounded one, right? So here, the yellow key with the rounded one. This is the actual icon for that our keyword. Okay, that's what it will confused. So here the keywords one is one of the resource now. So if it is not listing out here means, so what you can do it now from the search box, you can create it, or this by clicking this create resource, you can click it, create it, or so by choosing this three line. From here also you can create then your resources, or you can use this arrow markers. So it will be navigated again to that your marketplace where you want to create. So from here also you can create it all the services, right? So one of this way you can create. Fine. Now that our requirement, what is it? Our requirement. Our requirement actually, so that our database creation, right? So the database creation. So you can create it from that your so database selection. The database here it is there. Is it available now? SQL database. See here it is available. So click this SQL database icon. Then so you can click the create database. Okay, create database. Once you click now, it will be navigated to the so page where we can create that our database. So here I'm going to create the database. So they are giving some offer. So this offer also we can so use it. So the virtual core machine behind actually virtual core machine. So it will be available free up to that, something that 32 GB of data until using of that one. You can use it for the free purpose, free. Okay. Find here and subscription resource. These two things are available. What is the subscription? What is the resource? See, any resource, if you are going to create any resource, you have to create under that one subscription only. Based on that subscription only, they are going to charge. They are going to make the bill. Right? See what happens. So whatever the resource you are going to create, any resource, so you have to create under that one subscription. Under that one subscription only. This is important. Without selecting the subscription, you cannot create the resource. That is first step. Because for all the resources, you are going to pay it. You are going to use it and then you are going to pay it. Okay. So for the payment calculation purpose, so they need your subscription details. So under the subscription only, so we can create that resource. Fine. Now we have created that our sandbox server. The sandbox actually, so they are providing for the learning purpose. The learning purpose, so it's a free only. That is the reason they have give that default subscription. They have give that default subscription. This conscious subscription is available. You cannot change this. You cannot change this one, right? So one subscription will be there. Under that subscription only, you can use any resource. That is first step, right? Next one, what is the resource group? You have to use the resource group. Whenever you are going to create the new resource, you have to use the resource group. That is important. Why? Yes, again, all resources, you have to keep it under that one resource group. You have to keep it under that one resource group. Okay. Here, how they are following now? They are following that resource groups. All the resources, we are going to bring it under that resource group. For example, I'm going to use it, some of the resources in that development. The same set of resources, I have to use it, that our, what is that one? Testing environment. The same set of resources, I have to use it in that our production environment. So different environment, I have to use that set of the resources, right? Here, how we are separating that environments. We are separating the environments by creating that separate groups, resource groups. So another one step is you cannot create that any resource outside of the resource group. So whatever resource you are going to create, that resource should come under that your resource group. And in the actual subscription, now using that your credit card, you are going to create that your account, right? In that actual subscription, what we can do it now, we can create n number of resource group. Whatever it is, you are going to create means you are going to pay. That's it. So they will allow to create n number of resource group. But this one is a sandbox. Again, I'm telling you, this is a sandbox server we have created. This sandbox for the learning purpose only. So they will not allow to create the new resource group. For the learning purpose, they are having that existing resource group. This is the one. So it will be available by default. Under this resource group only, we can create that our database. Right? Fine. And what is the database name? Database name, you can give that any name, whatever you want to give it. So simply I'm going to use that something that I'm already right. But database, if you are going to create mean, database server should be there. This is a dependency. Database server should be there. The hierarchy is database server, instead of the database server, database, instead of the database table. This is a hierarchy. So I'm going to create the database. Then you should have the database server. The server you have to create it. A server I'm going to create. So click the server because I don't have that any existing server. In the real time, So we will create that server first time. First time we will create it. When we are starting that our development, first time we will create the database. Okay. So now I don't have that any database as of now, so that I'm going to create that one server. So you can give that any project related name. You can give that any project related name. Now here I'm using some random name like SQL Server Siva. Why I'm adding the Siva na? The name should be unique. Globally should be unique, not only for your company. This server name globally should be unique. The same server name should not be used by another company or another from another country. So this name should be unique. So SQL Server, if you are using now, it will be a common name. It will not allow it. It will not allow it. See, the specified server name is already in use. It will not allow it. Better. So here I'm using like this one, then it is allowed. And the SQL Server I'm going to create it. Fine. Which data center? In which data center you are going to create it? Which data center location? We are having different. Globally, we are having different locations. East US 2, South Central US, West US 2, West US 3. So Asia Pacific. See, Asia Pacific, Australia East, Asia Pacific, Southeast Asia, Europe, North Europe. So if globally they are having data centers in the multiple places, right? So where you are going to be, always you have to choose that your location based on that your customer who's going to access that your database frequently. If you are developing from India means you should not choose the India location because you are not going to use that your database frequently. You are the developer only. During the development time only you are going to use it. But in the business people who's going to use it, you suppose if they're going to use it from the US now, then you have to choose the data center that our one of the US based which is nearest to that your customers. Those things it will be discussed by that your architect and project manager and client people all together. They will have the discussion which location want to choose it. Okay, so you don't worry about that one. You may be involved in that meeting or may not, but all these things going to be taken by that your architecture along with that customer. They will have that discussion. Your architect people and my manager, technical manager, then customer people. Like yeah, 100% they will be there. So from there and also they may have that architect. So they will decide it. So location on what basis we are going to create now, we are going to create that based on that users who are going to access that our database frequently. Based on their location, we have to choose it. But now, yes, nothing I'm going to select. Default, leave it. And authentication method. So authentication method here that Entra only authentication, Microsoft Entra only authentication, use both SQL and Microsoft Entra, so Entra authentication. So here it depends upon the project. I'm going to use that SQL authentication, or you can use that Entra only authentication. Mostly we will go with that SQL or both. Mostly we use the SQL or both. Some of the project that we are using only the SQL authentication. Yeah. So external people, if they want to access it now, usually, so they will create that Entra. Yeah. But now I'm going to use that SQL authentication. SQL authentication username we have to provide for that your server. So I'm creating that server and password. So here and confirm the password. So click that OK. Click that OK. Fine. So here I'm having some options. Want to use the SQL Elastic code. By default selected no. Workload environment, development purpose only I'm going to create. What is the compute plus storage? So these things, don't worry about this one. Just leave it as of now. Leave it as it is. So we are going to discuss all these things. This is nothing but this is a development or production. Always we will use a development only because we are going to use it for the learning purpose. So we can leave it the default development. But the compute plus storage, this is the pricing configuration. The pricing configuration. And the SQL pool, Elastic pool. This is actually for the distribution purpose. But what distribution? We will discuss very detail in the later session. Fine. Rest all up, I'm going to leave it and backup, local redundancy backup. And we are having separate session for the storage. What is the storage? What is locally? What is zone redundant? What is zero redundant? Yes, again, we are having separate session for the storage. Now, just leave it as it is. So rest all up, you can leave it as it is. click the review plus create. Nothing to select now. Click the review plus create. Click the create. Let's see whether that our database is creating or not. So now it is in progress. Wait, it will take some time. So deployment is in progress. So it will take some time. Actually, here now what it is happening now, I'm creating the SQL server. So SQL server I'm creating means, what is the meaning of that one? In the behind, now I'm creating the SQL server directly as an application. But in the behind, what it is happening now, it will create that one virtual machine for this SQL server. It will create automatically, right? So that machine configuration here, what I have selected, based on that configuration here, we did not select any configuration. We leave it that one default configuration. So based on the default configuration, in the behind, it will create that one virtual machine. In that machine, that machine means, so along with the database, it is creating now in the behind. Along with the database, one virtual machine it is creating the behind. So that is the process is happening now. That's what it is showing like this one. Deployment is in progress. So that means your SQL Server deployment is happening in one of the virtual machine. So in that machine, it's created the server. It's created the server. And now it is creating that your database instead of that server. So all these things are happening in the behind. But we are not sure what it is happening exactly in the behind. But this process is happening in the behind. We did not instruct anything what want to create, how want to create. So we did not give that any instruction. We have selected what we need. So it is creating in the behind. Clear on. So every application directly we are going to create it. We are not going to be what is that one part of that our virtual machine configuration, everything. Just user interface, you are going to select what you want. In the behind, it is going to create everything. So deployment is in progress. So yes, my database deployment is completed. That means in the behind, one virtual machine created. In that virtual machine, my database is installed. Everything is happened. Now I can use it. I can use it. If you click the go to resource, it will come to this page. It will come to this page. In the overview, you can see that all the details. What is the resource group name? It was the default resource group name. The learning something was there. Yes, this is the one. And what is the status of this database? It's online. It's active. It is an active. If you are seeing that online, it is an active condition. Then which location we have chosen? We have left that one, that east is the default one. Yes, this is the location. What is the subscription? This is a subscription. So what is the subscription ID? Auto-generated one. Default ID will be generated for every subscription. That it will be, it's a fixed one. For first time it will be created, then it will be available for all the time until you are having that accounts. And what is a server? This is a server. This is a server. This is a SQL server. SQL server, it will be here on. So like this, the name.database.windows.net. Your name, what you are providing, the name.windows.net, database.windows.net. Okay, fine. So pricing tier, default one. So this one we will have discussion separately. Fine. But this is the overview page. This is the overview page. Now, blindly listen it. Later I will show you. I'll tell you what it is. Just I need to do some 2 actions. So I'm enable it. Later I will tell you why I'm doing this. Okay, so here come again the database. And what is that? It's query editor. This is the place where you can write the query editor. Now I have my server. Inside of my server, I have my database. Then what I can do it in my database, I'm going to create the table. So you have to log in using that your credentials, what you have given when you are creating that your server, using the credential. You have to log in into the database. Yes, this is my database query editor window. Here I can create that my tables. As of now, I don't have that any table. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to create the table. For creating the table, what is the query? Create table, the table name. Instead of that one, you have to mention that column details along with the respective data types. So customer, it's going to be integer. Customer name is going to be that varchar. Fine, something like that. So I want to run it, click the run. So yes, query succeeded. It got executed. I refresh this one. You can see the table. Yes, the table is available. So you can insert the record. Insert into insert into that your customer table values of that ID command name. ID command name. Run it. So it's run executed after Q1 rows. So if you want to select that data from that your table, you can select. Yes. So this is the way you can use the SQL Server database inside of that your Azure. So here it is called Azure SQL database. Azure SQL database. So we have created that Azure SQL database. Inside of the database, we have created that one table. Yes, we are using the data in that table. Yes. Clear? This is the way we can create that our database.
Shiva?
Yeah.
So here when we are on Azure, can we connect this database from SQL Server tool?
Yes.
When we are in Azure platform, can we able to connect this database from SQL Server tool?
Yes, we can do it. I'll show you everything. I will show. So from the external area, how we are going to connect with that our SQL using what? So we are going to connect Azure SQL database from that your SQL Server Management Studio. So not from that on-premise server, using that SQL Server Management Studio. It's a tool. So this is your database. So how you are going to connect this one from the external tool? So we are going to see this one. You're asking this one, right? The SQL Server Management Studio.
Yes,
which
yes.
you have installed in that your local machine. Using that word, can we access that our Azure SQL or not? This one you're asking, right?
Yes, yes.
You have to use it. You should use it. I will tell you later why. Because this environment is not user-friendly environment where we are writing this that our Azure cloud. So this environment is not a user-friendly environment. We are having a lot of laggings. So this is not the right place for writing the queries. If you are going to write that some big queries, multiple tables, if you are going to handle it, this is not the right place. Okay, but the short queries, small, immediate response, immediate check if you want to do it something in that your database, then we can go with this area. But the actual one, the regular work, if you are going to do that one, database related things, you have to use this on-premises SQL Server Management Studio to connect with your database, Azure's database. The IDE, this one you are going to use it. Database, it is going to be that your cloud database. Yes, I will show you how to do it. So everything it will come one by one. Don't worry about that one. Okay. So because we cannot explain it everything in a single day session, right? So yes, we will go step by step. So that's all for the day. So just we have discussed what is the SQL Azure SQL database and how we can create the SQL database in that our Azure portal. So this Azure SQL related things, everything we are going to learn it using the sandbox server only. Until that one, you don't want to create that your account. So wait. So I will tell you when you want to create the time, because yes, we know that one. The trial period will be available 28 days only. So if you are creating today itself now, unnecessarily you will lose that days, the free days. Okay. So don't create that one. The next session, I will share this this one, that sandbox server URL, everything I will share it with you, and I'll ask you to create that account. Before that one, you guys just create that one Outlook email ID if you don't have that one now. We can use any email ID, that's not a problem, but we will go with Outlook, that's better. Yeah. So keep that one email ID. If you don't have that one, just create that one for the learning purpose, for this account purpose, the Azure learning purpose. The same ID later we can use it for creating that our Azure using that credit card also. Okay. So before the next session, just create that one Outlook ID. I will show you how to create that sandbox server in that next session. Everyone, you can do it so parallel. Yeah. So that's all for the day. We will meet again in the next session.